Acknowledge me, the one.
We are back. Oh, you remember me? I am Scoops, the sole admin of Scoops. And welcome to Season 6 of Kick It to Scoops. I am your host, Scoops, the sole admin of Scoops. But you already knew that. Now, new year, new things for the AFL. More rule changes, a whole range of things. But on the show this evening, we're going to have some of our favourite segments return, including the best rant segment of all channels. Scoops Goes Bang is back and back with a bang. And on the topics for Scoops Goes Bang, you're going to have to wait to find out. Let's just say I think you all got a rough idea of what I'll be starting with. However, before we get into all that, let's tell you all what else will be on the show. So obviously no team of the week, Supercoach talk, anything like that just yet. If you want to join my Supercoach league, my Scoops Fan Club League again in season 2026, I will get the code for you all right now so you can join it, because I haven't got many people joining it just yet because I haven't really published it. So this will be the code for you all to join. It is visible for you all on the screen right now. 267549. That is my Scoops Fan Club Supercoach code for AFL, obviously. So you want to join that. My Supercoach Fan Club League code 267549 if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please share this video around. Let everyone know that Kick It to Scoops is back, and it's going to be back right now with a bang. And before I do that, you want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend, wish them a happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. Lot to talk about. We've got my season predictions and everything like that in between, ladder predictions and all that. We'll have some news as well and review opening round, of course. All right. It is time. It is back. Please welcome for the first time for season 2026, the world famous, it's going to be world famous. Well, it's not going to be, it already is. Please welcome the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Well. We're back with a bang, all right. My top 50 players heading into the season 2026. I broke the internet with my Scoops AFL top 50 players. Now, last time I checked, not every single person that watches the sport is going to have the exact same 50 names in the exact same order. Everyone's going to have differing opinions, and that's what we love about it, okay? Now, last time I checked, my top 50 doesn't need to be the same as yours or anyone else's. And last time I checked, everyone that does their top 50 generally guys in the back end of that list, like roughy selections, guys that, that you feel are worthy of being in that contention. So you won't necessarily see the most obvious names in that back end of people's top 50s. There'll be some, but there's normally a couple. And I had some players in that conversation. I had players that have gone off potential, who have started their career really well, or when they're not injured, they are A-grade talent, or they're going to be A-grade talent. Now, there seems to be two names that people are crying and moaning about that I have on this list. Complaining, because that's all people do on the internet these days is complain. Need a bit more positivity, ladies and gentlemen. The two names, lo and behold, there's Saints players people are crying about. To quote my great friend Liv Morgan in the WWE, if you don't like it, you can go cry about it. Simple as that. And crying they have. So at number 30, I had the great man, Max King. Now, yes, I'm fully aware as a Saints fan, as a football fan, and knowledgeable on the sport, that Max King has been injury interrupted his entire career. But at the peak of his best, he is easily, without a shadow of a doubt, a top 30 player. Now, obviously, that hurts his ranking the more and more he doesn't play. I clearly understand that. But Max King, statistically, at his age currently, which I think is 23, 24, something like that, statistically, he's the second best key forward ever for goals, everything that the stats require at his age. Only one player, statistically, at his age, as a key forward, has as better stats than him, ever. That is Buddy Franklin, Lance Franklin, probably one of the greatest key forwards of all time, along with Rewalt. St Kilda's a Rewalt, of course. So statistically, Max King, at his age, has the best stats for a key forward ever, only behind Buddy Franklin. Now, that helps why his ranking is so high, because when he plays, he is very dangerous and is an elite key forward. We get he's had his injury troubles, but that's not how it works. We rank them off their football ability, and Max King's football ability is amazing. An injury or two or seasons worth of injuries impact their position in the list. Doesn't get them off the list. A fully fit Max King is one of the best key forwards in the game. It's not just me saying it. It's the stats saying it. Statistically, the second best ever at his age, alongside Buddy Franklin, the only person statistically that was better at his age for stats, for goals and everything like that. So he's warranted of this selection. But seems to be that everyone is blowing up with my number 50, and that's Max Hall, one of the greatest mid-season pickups ever. Max Hall had games for the Saints last year in the middle part to back into last season, where he's kicking 3 goals a game. He's done that on multiple occasions, kicking 2s and 3s, getting around 18 touches, 20 touches. Keeping in mind, he's played mainly as a forward. So even better for him to have stats like that. Okay. Now, is he definitely a top 50 player in the competition? No. But last time I checked, my opinion doesn't have to be the same to you. And last time I also checked, Kane Corns and everyone else that's on their top 50s have players like Max Hall in their list. Okay? I think he can become that player. And we've only had a little sample size. He's going to play more midfield this year. I have the faith in Max Hall to become one of those players. Now, I'll be real, he's not going to be a top 30 player or anything like that, but I definitely think he's got what it takes to be that. Just because he came from the VFL a year and a half ago doesn't mean he can't get to where I have him. I think he would take his level of football to new heights this year and shown what he's shown in the back end of 2025 for the entirety of 2026, if he's injury-free, of course. Max Hall is going to go only up from here. And it's funny. I don't see anyone complaining about me having Ruben Jimby in the list at the back end or Riley Thilthorpe in the back end of the list. It's only Max King and Max Hall. They happen to be Saints players. So you're all telling me you are happy with the other 48 because all the crying seems to be about Max Hall and Max King. I don't know what you all have against Maxes, but here we are. So I'm going to put the list up for you all, okay? Now, no one's perfect. No one's going to love it all, and that's fine. But there's a list. We've got Dacos from the Pies and Dacos at number 1, Nasai Wayne E. Malera number 2, Zach Butters number 3, Noah Anderson number 4, Zach Merritt number 5. But anyway, so then, yeah. So I got Jamie Elliott at 48. No one batted an eyelid for that. Ben Keys at 44, Jack McRae at 43. Surprised people weren't crying about that one. I had Jesper Fletcher at 37. I had Jordan Clark at 32. I had Zach Bailey at 27. I had Finn Callahan in the top 25. I had Harris Andrews in the top 12. I had Brody Grundy at 10. No one seemed to cry about any of that. So is that you all trying to tell me that you like the list and there's nothing really to complain about? So it's like, let's pick on the Saints players in the list. Couldn't complain about Naz and Jack Sinclair and Rowan Marshall and Callum Sinclair. He wishes. Callum Wilkie. No one had a problem with any of those Saints players. Great. More and more proving me right. But it was only Max King and Max Hall. Max King, his entire career, has been heavily critiqued unfairly. When he's injured, just like any other player in the competition. Everything like that. We can't help injuries. Injuries happen to anyone. Alex Johnson had like 5 or 6 ACL injuries. Dan Menzel. They all had injuries. You can't be complaining about someone being in the list. It's my opinion. Tom Green, I had a few people complain, not as much, at him being at number 6. He's one of the best midfielders in the competition. Yes, I am fully aware he unfortunately done his ACL only within a month. But that doesn't mean I can't have him in this list. Now, there was some players that were ineligible to make this list because I said so, because it's my list. Why are they ineligible? Because they are, because I said so. This is my list, not yours. I run the rules here of why someone makes a list or doesn't make the list. And they didn't make the list because they simply just didn't make the list. It's as simple as that. With everybody saying it's my list, not your list. You want to critique a list? No problem. How about you make your own list so we can critique you and then you can complain and have the opinions come at you. I don't care if you don't care that a certain Bulldogs player didn't make the list. He was ineligible because I said so. Simple as that. Now, Jordan Dawson, and Cozzy Pickett, some names that people thought, why didn't they make it? They weren't ineligible. They just didn't make it. That Bulldogs player you were crying about, yeah, he's ineligible, all right, because I said so. Simple as that. Sam Darcy, overrated. This list isn't picked off potential. And I saw a fair few people agree with me about the Sam Darcy not being included because this ain't off potential. If it was off potential, every number 1 draft pick would be in this list of the last current crop of players that are number 1 picks. A number 2 pick, number 3, etc. Just because some of your favourites didn't make the list doesn't mean you have to get all crying about it. Happy for opinions. I will always engage with people that want to professionally debate. People that just want to complain and start swearing and saying you've got no idea. The only people that have no idea are you. You say, some people say, and I have to laugh at this. I just laugh it off. People say, I've got no idea. Your page is terrible, all this stuff. Thanks for the engagement. Clearly you keep coming back because you think my page is good. So thanks for coming back. It just is what it is. So I have to laugh. So yeah, that's my top 50. You don't have to agree with it. No problem. Not asking any of you to agree with it. But gee, so many salty people. I just have to laugh at all the salty people these days. The only person that's living rent-free is this is what is happening. People want to say, oh, this player lives rent-free in your head. No, it's the other way around. I live rent-free in your head. I don't care what some random hack on the internet has to say. You care a lot about what I have to say, though. And newsflash, I don't care what you think. That's to trolls, that is. I don't care what you think. The only people that matter are the people that want to show respect. And if you don't show it, I don't care what you have to say. Simple as that. Mic drop. Now, the other topic I'm going to be banging on about is Melbourne football clubs' disrespect towards Stephen May, more so individuals. Now, there was a quote last night when Stephen May announced his retirement after 251 AFL games. Congratulations to Stephen May on his career. Melbourne, in their departing statement, said, "We thank Stephen for his efforts in the red and blue and the commitment he brought to the club during this time." Now, first of all, that's the only thing they've said about his time as a player at Melbourne. This guy won you a premiership during the toughest of times against the Bulldogs. Stephen May was an All-Australian at Melbourne. He had a lot of good playing involvements at your football club. And the best you give is like a parting ways comments, like he was a guy that was on the list for a year and played 0 games. Sheer disrespect for a guy that played 251 AFL games, a premiership player, an All-Australian, and all that, and the bulk of his games and the bulk of his good accomplishments in his football career were at your club. And the best you can go is like, oh yeah, your generic statement for a guy who got delisted after 5 games in 6 years. That's effectively how you've treated him here. Very, very poor. And then you thought that was all by Melbourne. There's another part of this statement I'm going to read to you. Then what Max Gawn said on Triple M today as well. Now, the rest of this statement from Melbourne said this: "We are pleased that Stephen has made the decision that at this stage of his life, stepping away from football to focus on building a positive future for himself and his family is the best path forward." So, is that a jab at him? Because, so what? Like, why was that unnecessary jab? How about thank him for his time as a player, mention all his accomplishments that he's done for your football club? He was a big reason why you won that premiership against the Western Bulldogs at Optus or the Gabba or wherever the hell it was. I think it was at Optus. Doesn't matter when or where it was. He helped you win that premiership that whole season and seasons before that and seasons after that. Now, this all stems to the trade period that Stephen King came in at Melbourne and clearly didn't rate Stephen May. Stephen King didn't rate Stephen May. I don't know why a club that's going to be battling for the bottom 4 did not want Stephen May in their side. Now, we are aware that he has had some off-field stuff. Now, we don't know all the details about that, so we won't be talking about any of that because you just simply don't have the facts in front of you, so we're not going to talk about it. And no one really should be able to talk about it bar Melbourne. And Stephen May and the AFL. So if there's anything, that's for them to talk about. But the sheer disrespect that Max Gawn also gave him on radio today was pretty disrespectful. He was essentially sulking. He was sulking about, oh, Stephen didn't tell us this, and yeah, we were blindsided and all this crap. Then he said, as a footy fan, you know, he hasn't trained for 4 or 5 weeks. You put 2 and 2 together. So the football fan in you knew, but you, the teammate, didn't. The captain. I knew it. Everyone else knew it. He was going to leave because he just simply had enough and didn't like being treated like crap by the new coach, being told that a 251-game veteran who won you your premiership, who is still an elite defender, was pushed to the side for who at Melbourne exactly? Jed Adams or Harry Petty or Daniel Turner? Guys that couldn't lace Stephen May's boots? Stephen May is way better than all those defenders. Melbourne don't have any other outside of Jake Lever, who, by the way, was also dropped during last year and also has shown on-field aggression that has led to giving opposition goals and fighting with teammates as well. So This labelling they're giving Stephen May the footballer is ridiculous. Disrespect for a guy that helped win a club your drought-breaking premiership over 50 years or whatever it was, and you just given him a big slap in the face and said, good riddance, essentially. Not good enough. Max Gawn did the same thing to Christian Petrarca and Clayton Oliver when they both left. So Max Gawn doesn't like good players leaving his club, so he gives them a drive-by on the way out. Pretty poor taste, Max. And Melbourne, especially, for that statement that they made. So the only people that need to pull their head in are the Sooks, about my top 50, and the people at Melbourne giving these drive-bys to Stephen May. They need to all lift their game. Pathetic. Hope you all enjoyed the return of the world-famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Now, Team of the Week will return. The Scoops medal will return. Big extravaganza show for Scoops Goes Bang. For the Scoops medal at the end. That will all return in due course when need be. Team of the Week will continue every single week. I will likely do one for opening round this week as well. So look forward to that. That will happen. So look forward to that. Now, my season predictions. Okay, now I'll do the latter last. So my awards that I'm going to be mentioning are as follows. So Rising Star, Coleman, and Brownlow medal. So I think that the 2026 AFL Rising Star winner will be Dyson Sharp from the Essendon Football Club. Now, Willem Dersma, it seems to be the guys that are number 1 or 2 don't win it. My original prediction was going to be Dan Annable / Dylan Patterson from the Lions and Suns, but they may not debut somewhere in round 1, and I don't like the job security for them. I feel like what Levi Ashcroft was in terms of a role, that makes it hard for him to win the award. So I've gone Dyson Sharp. He's going to play every week in Essendon's midfield. It was always going to be either Sharp, Annable, or Patterson. I'll go Dyson Sharp from the Bombers. Someone at Essendon actually winning an award. Wow. They're still not playing finals, and they're going to have that streak continue. They haven't won a final for over 7,000, 8,000 plus days. Now, my Coleman medal winner, I thought long and hard with this, but not really. It was either Ben King or the guy I've gone with, and it's Charlie Curnow, the new Swan. Now, Carlton fans, your sheer disrespect towards Charlie Curnow is completely ridiculous. I heard a lot of Carlton fans shit on Charlie Curnow when he left, saying good riddance, he's a dog and all this. No. You shit on your own players, Charlie Curnow and Tom Takoning and Jack Silvani on the way out. Now, your fan base is a disgrace, especially the amount of crap they wrote about TDK, Jack Silvani, and Charlie Curnow. Jack Silvani left because maybe he was just sick at Carlton and they underutilised him. So now he's gone to a good club like St Kilda. TDK, the poor guy, got absolutely ridiculed by their fan base for taking a $1.8 million rumoured offer from the Saints over 8 years or whatever. Wouldn't you take the same bloody money if it was offered to you? Hypocrites. Ironic that Carlton fans are complaining about someone taking a Godfather offer. And let's be real, TDK barracked for the Saints as a kid, so this shouldn't shock you. And if you thought he was never leaving, you are completely delusional. He was always going to leave because, number one, St Kilda are better than Carlton. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You would take that money. 99% of you that were complaining about Curnow, complaining about TDK, you would take the same money. If you were offered $1.8 million per year for 8 years, you would take it. Don't try and fool me. You would absolutely take it all day, every day, especially when you're going to the club you supported, grew up supporting. It's not that far down the road, within half an hour, a better club and your club and a long contract. A lot better than what Carlton were going to offer you. So, of course, you would take it. Now, Charlie Curnow, I've seen all these Carlton Carlton fans that think they are friends of his, which you're not, who loved him. These Carlton fans loved Charlie Curnow when he was there. And the moment they heard a slither of news that he was going to leave, they turned their backs on him and talked crap about him and say he's shit, he's injury prone, he's a hack, we don't want him anyway, we got Harry Mackay. Harry Mackay, the same guy that your fan base criticised as well, saying, oh, he can't kick, he's overrated. That's Carlton fans to a T. Carlton fans are the shit ones, not Charlie Curnow. Charlie Curnow plays against Carlton in opening round, and how great it'll be if he kicks 5 goals and wins Sydney the game. And we'll hear Carlton fans complaining more about Charlie Curnow. Hopefully Charlie can stick it up them this week. And I think he will win the Coleman medal. And for all these Carlton fans and people online that think they've got a platform that means something, that continue to bag Charlie Curnow, the same people that were loving him 6 months ago now shitting on him because he left. Jack Steele left my Saints. You're never going to see me bag Steely. We play him in round 1. I hope he does well, but that they lose. Always and forever have respect for Jack Steele. See, when that happens, 99.9% of the players that leave St Kilda, I have never bagged since they left. Never. Jack Billings left at the time to Melbourne. Tommy Campbell left. Max Heath, the Moose, never bagged them. Josh Battle may be the only one because he dogged us after saying to teammates he would stay. Everyone else basically never done it because they left on good terms. So Charlie Curnow, Coleman medal. And the Brownlow. Well, let's just say I think the Brownlow medal winner for 2026 will be a Messiah. Nasiah Wanganeen Malira. The second best player, in my personal opinion, in the competition. Oh, how a few people cried about that one as well. Oh, but so Kane Corns can have him in the top 3 or 5, but I can't. And love that Kane said it, but not me. Just shows how rent-free I'm living in people's heads. Naz is the Brownlow medal winner for me. It could be Dacos, could be Butters, could be Noah Anderson, could be Matt Rowell, could have been Tom Green, could be Brodie Grundy, who was a joint winner with Noah Anderson in the Scoops medal last year. Who will win it this year? We have to wait and see at the end of the year, come September time or so. But I got Naz winning it because his performances in the practice matches were elite. Playing forward is another tool he's added to his game lately. Obviously, that Melbourne comeback win. Melbourne fans never forget that moment. Naz owns your football club and the entire competition, really. The goals he got against Essendon on the weekend was elite in the practice matches. Naz, for me, the Brownlow medal winner. Now, let's also look at my ladder predictions. So, let's just say it's not that much different to my Christmas ladder predictions for this year. So I'm not going to really detail too much about it because it's very similar to last time. 18th, Richmond. 17th, North Melbourne. 16th, West Coast. 15th, Essendon, then my bottom 4. 14th, Melbourne, because they've got an easy fixture. 13th, Port Adelaide. 12th, Carlton. Western Bulldogs, 11th. Hawthorn, 10. Geelong, 9. So that hasn't changed at all, and neither has 8th and 7th. 8th is still Adelaide. 7th is still Freo. Now, some adjustments in the top 6, though, has happened. In 6th place, I have the Giants. I still think they can make top 4. I had them in 5th. Slid them down to 6. Purely because of Tom Green out, Sam Taylor to miss the start of the year. Callahan, we're not so sure about the start. He'll probably play. But a few injuries there. Toby Bedford's going to miss about a month. So he's an important tagger for them. And kick some goals. So I don't know how their overall ladder position is going to be if they start to lose games early. But I still think the Giants are good enough and will make finals. The Orange Tsunami, they never surrender. They fight until the end. Are they going to be greater than the rest? We'll have to wait and see. In 5th place, from 6th to 5th, I've got my Saints. Now is a better time than ever. If we can stay injury-free as a football club, have Max King back, Mateus Filippo playing a whole season, Max Hall doing what he done at the back end of last year, Silvani coming in, Sammy Flanders coming in, TDK, Liam Ryan, who was really good in the practice matches. Have all these guys come in, stay injury-free. Have Wilkie, Jack Sinclair, both new co-captains, do well again. I don't see why not. This is the Saints' year, hopefully. At least to make finals, okay? So calm down. In fourth place, I got Collingwood. The Collingwood hate is well and truly alive again at the moment. The North Melbourne loss wasn't good in the practice match by 1 point. It's also 1 point. And they also had Penderbury and side bottom and everything like that. If you want to have a concern for Collingwood's future in about 3 years' time, no problem. But we're not talking about 2029. We're talking about 2026. So I have Collingwood in fourth place. Same side they got written off, and I got ridiculed for having it in the top 4 last year when they lost the opening round to the Giants with like 60 points. People came at me for that, and then they made a prelim, so jokes on those people, and they made top 4. Now, I put them down to 4th. I had them at 3rd. I've also slid Gold Coast down to 3rd. I don't know. I think they'll be top 4, but I'm not as confident as I was in December for them in top 2. A team that I had in 4th, I put to 2nd, is Sydney. Can't fault them at the moment. Again, Curnow, Logan McDonald, Hayden McLean up forward, Tom Papley, Goulden, Mills, Heaney, everyone like that. Don't see why they can't. And Brodie Grundy, I don't see why they can't make top 2. They'll be on a big surge of Swannies in 2026. And first, I've got Brisbane Lions. And my premier for 2026, going safe at the moment, is the Brisbane Lions. Wooden spoon, as I said, Richmond. So wouldn't rule out North Melbourne for that either. But let's put the graphic on the screen for you all to see. That is my ladder predictions for 2026. So I'll read it again for people listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but for people on YouTube, it's on the screen. 18th Richmond, 17 North Melbourne, 16 West Coast, 15 Essendon, 14 Melbourne, 13 Port, 12 Carlton, 11 Bulldogs, 10 Hawthorn. Remember, this is when wildcard rounds, so 7, 8, 9 and 10 will play each other. Adelaide in 8th, Geelong in 9th, then Adelaide in 8th, Freo in 7th, GWS in 6th now, St Kilda in 5th now, Collingwood in 4th now, Gold Coast in 3rd now, Sydney in 2nd now, and the Lions on top. And back to back to back. I think a three-peat for the Lions is absolutely on right now. Lockie Neal, Hugh McCluggage, Harris Andrews, Will and Levi Ashcroft. I think they will be good. And Levi Ashcroft, Will at 16th best player. Very underrated. I think that'll be a shout this year as well. Could be a contender for the Brownlow, Will Ashcroft in 2026. Like a smoky type, Will Ashcroft. But he's got McCluggage and Neal and Zorko and Andrews. And Oscar Allen's joined the club as well. May steal votes off each other as well. So, what do we got left? Some player signings that happened today on the last day of the preseason signing period. Thomas Burton, who I had on the podcast a few months before the draft, not even that. Richmond have signed him, 19-year-old Western Jets player Thomas Burton, as a preseason supplementary period selection. Went on to Tom. Very happy for him. Hopefully he can take this opportunity and play some regular games for the Tigers and have a long career in the AFL. Well, mate. Hawthorn have signed former Roo Flynn Perez, who played for Sturt last year in the sample, as a sign-on for them. So well on to Flynn. Melbourne have signed 23-year-old VFL player, small forward, Paddy Cross. Hopefully he won't have a cross on his career and will have a good career. We'll wait and see what mate. And Western Bulldogs have signed 26-year-old player Will Lewis from their VFL team. They had Will White, the former Blue small forward, who should never have been delisted, training there as well, late. But I think Will Lewis, his stats, I don't have them in front of me, but he had 40-something goals for 21 games. Bloody impressive. 195 centimetre forward. But do the Blues really need, not the Blues, do the Bulldogs need more tall forwards? But I think that's a good shout to have him in the club. But do they need to have another key forward? They probably need support in other areas that aren't that. But one under Will Lewis, I think that's a good selection, though, in general. Will he get games? Time will tell. All right, let's wrap it up by reviewing opening round, shall we? So, all right. So the first game to go through on Thursday night at the SCG in opening round, it's Sydney hosting Carlton. SCG, 7:30 p.m. Victorian time. I'll be tipping the Swans in this one by 28 points. Friday night at Heritage Bank Stadium up on the Gold Coast. It is Gold Coast hosting Geelong. Geelong will be missing a few players potentially, so will Gold Coast over Matt Rowell. I'll be tipping Gold Coast, though, by 26 points. On Saturday, 4:15 p.m. at NG Stadiums, the Giants and Hawthorn. I'll be tipping the Giants in this one by 5 points. Saturday night at the Gabba, it's the Western Bulldogs being hosted by the Brisbane Lions, 7:35 p.m. Victorian time. I'll be tipping Brisbane by 38 points. And on Sunday, the first game in Melbourne for 2026 in opening round, Sunday, March 8, 7:20 p.m. Victorian time at the MCG. It is my Saints hosting the Pies. I'm going to go the Saints by 12 points. It's going to be a must-see clash. TDK against Darcy Cameron, Sam Flanders against the Dacos brothers, along with Filippo, Win Hager, who had 41 disposals on the weekend, Naz as well, Sinclair, Liam Ryan, Jack Higgins in the forward line with Cooper Sharman, Mitch Owens, who had a great preseason game on the weekend as well. It's going to be must-watch footy on the weekend. It's great to have the footy back in the AFL. I'm excited. Are you? Good luck to everyone in your Supercoach planning and everything like that. Scoops middle at the end of the year. I would say good luck with all your teams, but let's be real. There's only one team that I want to do well in 2026, and that's the Saints. And up the Saints! And the Messiah, the Saints going to win the Brownlow in 2026, hopefully.